Good morning. I wanted to come to you to give all of you some updates on where things are at, some exciting news that you may not have the vantage point to see. And then also I had a very specific group that I wanted to reach out to and ask to help me out with something very specific. We're filming from the hallway today because this is the first week of the Academy's calendar, and we're, for the first time ever, completely full of children. We're maxed out. 144 kids are calling the Academy home. And every day, these halls are teeming with children and teachers loving on them. It's a fantastic thing to see. Really, it's a similar sight on Sunday mornings. If you don't have the opportunity to be down in this hallway, you may not realize the chaos that this feels like of all these kids coming in to get loved on and find out about Jesus and learn about God and the Bible. It's a fantastic thing, but it's a little overwhelming for the faint of heart. 2 weeks ago on Sunday, we had over 800 people here on Sunday. Just this past Sunday, I was able to witness a baptism. A young lady who said a few months ago she didn't believe in God, now she does, and how much better life is. Just a witness of what it is that you guys are doing as we're all together pulling together to be God's church. So I want to let you know those things because it's important that you know it, that you see it. God is using us, you, to do great things, and it's very exciting. Also, I want to reach out to a very specific group of people. One of the most limiting factors we have is our 10 o'clock service on Sunday mornings. The hallway here is jam-packed full of kids and teachers teaching them. Our auditorium is really full at the 10 o'clock service, over 250 the last couple of weeks. We're going to get into a place soon where A, we're out of space, or at least B, people feel like there's no room for them, especially if they're a little bit on the timid side, new to church and checking things out. So I want to reach out to you. If you look at our 10 o'clock service, there's roughly 4 different groups of families, all pretty evenly divided amongst the crowd. There's some who are volunteering at the 8:30 or the 11:30 service, and so they attend at 10, and that's fantastic. We're so appreciative for what you do to teach kids or to help out around different areas at the other services to make that happen. And so this message is not targeted for you. We also have some people in the 10 o'clock service who have teens across the way. We've talked about having the teens at other hours, but it just works so much better for them if we keep them at the 10 o'clock service and don't divide them. Teens are so socially oriented, they don't want to have their friends at one service and they're at a different service. So if we can keep it all at 10, that works out the best. So some of you have teens at 10, and so you're going to be there at 10. We have no issue with that either. There's a third group of you that I think is maybe the most important of all. I was talking to a friend recently, and they've got a friend who comes with them, and he's new to church, sort of opposed to church, and he wants to come at 10, and they're coming with him, and they were kind of apologizing to me that they were taking up a seat at 10. I said, no, this is why we create seats at 10, so that you can come with your friend, and he can find out about God, and he can get loved by family, and we need to have room for him. That's why we're doing what we're doing, so that he can have some room, and we can help him learn to follow God just like we are. So if you're in that group, or you're new to faith, or you're new to church, or you're with somebody who's new to faith and new to church and 10 is when it works, then we don't have any issue with that at all. But there's a fourth group who don't really fit in the first 3 categories. You aren't volunteering in one of the other services, you don't have teenagers that require you to be at 10, and you're not new to faith, and you're not along with somebody at 10. And there's a good number of you in that category, and we need 25 families to move out of that fourth category, to move from the 10 o'clock service to either the 8:30 or the 11:30. We don't really have a preference. There's room in both those services. They're filling up, but there's plenty of room in both of those. And if we could free up 25 families, that not only clears up room in the auditorium, more importantly, that clears up space here where kids can come and safely find out about God and safely be loved on by teachers who have space to move around and care for them and teach them the things of God. So if you are in that fourth group, you don't have teenagers, you're not volunteering with their services, you're not new to faith or with somebody who's new to faith, I'm just asking you. I don't want to sugarcoat this, but I don't want to guilt you either. I just want to come to you as a fellow follower of Jesus and say, one of the most significant things you could do to not only help the church reach more people, but to create more stories like I told you to start with of the person who now believes in God and it's making such a difference in their life. One of the most tangible ways you could do that is freeing up a chair at 10 o'clock in that room or in one of these rooms. And if you have reasons you can't do that, I understand that, but if there's any way possible you could do it, it would make a lot of difference. One thing to consider, and I'll let you go. If you come to the 10 o'clock service, face the crowds in the parking lot, face the crowds in this building, getting all settled in and things, and then you go to a restaurant, you'll get there right as the crowds are getting to the restaurant too. You'll fight with the crowds at the restaurant, and you'll come home afterwards completely ready to be away from people. If you were to go to a brunch at that same restaurant at the 10 o'clock service, instead of going to the 10 o'clock service, go to 10 o'clock brunch, you wouldn't have any crowds at the restaurant. You could turn around and after brunch, come to the 11:30 service, wouldn't have any crowds here either, and you would go home in a much more relaxed state at the same exact time. You leave the house at the same time, you get home at the same time. It doesn't really change your overall schedule any, but you're having a lot more relaxed space, and you, more importantly, free up space for kids to hear about God and for adults to have space to sit and learn and listen and worship. So I'm just coming to you as pastor, as a friend. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. If you could do that to help me, that would really mean so much. 25 families. What I'd like to ask you to do, if you're willing, when you get this message, if that's you, just send me an email and say, I'll give you 10 weeks. I'm not even asking for forever. We're going to have to make more changes down the road to create space. So I'm really just asking for the next 10 weeks. This fall, if you could be one of 25 families to move for 10 Sundays, that would change everything for us. So let me know, send me an email, andy@wellspringchristian.org. See me on Sunday, let me know somehow, send a carrier pigeon, I don't care. Get me a message somehow that you're one of the 25, and we'll know we've arrived at creating enough space for new people to come and follow God when you let me know. All right, thanks.